And we are live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the September Tridion live stream. I'm joined by my colleague, Deepo. How are you doing, Deepo?
Hi there, how's it going?
It's going
It's
well.
autumn.
I know. Back to school for everyone.
Oh yeah, big time.
So today we've got an exciting agenda. We're going to be first. I'm going to be doing a demonstration of AI and Tridion forms. So it's a fun demonstration. I showed it to some customers last week, and they were very interested in how you can now generate forms using the TinyMC editor and AI. We're also going to be talking about RWS Open, which is going to be a new ecosystem that's going to launch. Deepo's going to talk about that. And of course, we're going to wrap up and talk about some of the upcoming events where you can meet us in person. So let's get started with this demo.
Let's go. I can't
Yeah.
wait to see it.
Well, it's a really fun demonstration, and let me share my screen over here. So I'm going to go into Tridion, and of course, this is a new user interface that I'm going to be showing off. I created a quick schema called forms. What I'm going to do is just create a new one for. Let me create the new component over here. I'm going to call this. How about live stream form. Now you notice over here, live stream form. Now you notice over here in the form body, all I have is a simple rich text field. And you notice that you've got all of the standard controls that come with TinyMCE. Now, one of the challenges is that for these for TinyMCE, it doesn't actually give you form controls that you could put in your HTML body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually let me go ahead. I'm just going to save and finish this thing. And oh, I didn't put anything in. Here, let me just save and finish. I'm going to go back to this main part over here. So to create the actual HTML that I'm going to insert into the form, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go just to ChatGPT. And in ChatGPT, I can ask the question. I can say, hey, create an HTML form that captures first name, last name, instead of radio buttons, different colors, a checkbox asking if the user wants to subscribe. So this is very much business user intent, what they want to capture with the form. From here, all I do is I say, hey, ChatGPT, create this thing for me. It creates a lot of code, and you'll notice that this code is a full page code. So that's going to come into later, but within the body, you'll see that it's got the different form action, etc. Now, the way to think of this is not something that's going to be able to create something that's perfect and ready to go immediately, but instead something that is a real starting point for the business users to be able to say, this is what I want my form to look like, and then the web team can make any of the adjustments, of course, where the form posts its data, etc. And I'll probably have another session on that in a future live stream. But let me just go ahead and copy the code right now. And you notice that if I go back to Tridion and into my live stream form, I'm going to take this content and I'm going to hit the source code tab. So you can actually, when you're using TinyMCE, you can embed HTML code. From here, I'm going to go paste, and you'll notice that in the paste, it actually did a pretty good job of cleaning up some things. So I can also go ahead and, well, it did an initial cleanup, but when I press apply, and then I go back into the source code, you notice that it removed like the HTML head part and the bottom tag. So it made everything nice and embeddable. And the nice thing about TinyMC is I can go ahead and say, oh, you know what? Actually, what I want to do is I want to do some bold formatting over here of these labels. If I go down a little bit further, maybe I want to do the same thing for this favorite color. Maybe, italicize. Maybe I want to move things down a little bit, change some of the layout. Things along those lines are very are very nice and easy. And even if you wanted to, for example, put some of the fields into a table or something like that, you could do that. Now, I'm not saying that this is like a perfect solution, but just the ability to treat forms as content within the tiny MCE editor is something that could be valuable. And so from here, I've created the form. I can press finish. If I go back to the main area, you can see here's the form aspect to it. So with forms, of course, there's three parts to it. There's the UI of the form that you can create. Then there's the handler, and then there's ultimately where that form data resides. I've got another demonstration that I'll do in the future, which shows how you can actually create these forms and then post them very easily to a DynamoDB that exists within AWS. And the advantage of doing things like that is that you can have a wide variety of forms with different fields, and they'll all just get saved as JSON objects. But I'll leave that demonstration for another day. I just want to show you that ChatGPT it's pretty good at creating forms, and then TinyMC allows you to paste in forms as HTML. So yeah, so
That is excellent. That
yeah,
is excellent. And like, I mean, there's people like, vibe coding and all of that, I mean, you could push that to so much. This is like a simple demonstration. You could push that so much further. And basically it sort of your docs department or the person like, creating that doesn't have to be an expert in code. You don't have to wait for an IT department, create a ticket, and then wait for months while they get the, things together. They're busy with other stuff, So when you're asking to create a simple form because you want to track this new document that you produced, or you just want a quick survey, like before, and see where the new decorations for the room in the hotel that we've put out, is it great,
Yeah, I
sort it out.
and the interesting thing about, if you treat the form as content, then you push the easy button and you translate it into a dozen different languages right away, right? so
Yeah, yeah.
so there's a lot to this. And of course it's just one of the options, and one of the things that I think makes Tridion more powerful is that it's got all of these sort of flexible ways to manage content.
That's it.
Well, and speaking of flexibility, I think you have an announcement to make around a new initiative. Is that what you got?
Yeah, talking about like, flexibility, and let's talk about ecosystems. And like, we know what works is allowing people to flex and do things. You can't impose your own tools on every single department in your organization. And so we're talking about RWS Open. It's basically connectors with real options. And I'm sure, like, you've seen some other vendors and they allow you to have a plugin to one thing or the other. But this connectors first program is basically what makes Tridion integrations clearer, modular, and absolutely doable with, like, very little lift from your huge IT department. You can use out of the box connectors. You can ship faster with our accelerators, build your own integration framework. You could actually even work with either your developers or contact our professional services if you will really want to push the boat out. Why would you want this? Because, like, you want to be able to give independence to the different departments and allow them to continue using their tools. So by connecting Tridion to the tools you already run,
Right.
you're not adding a whole new learning curve to everyone's path. You're not having to disrupt patterns. You're not having to redraw new workflows. You've got a new workflow that will connect them. You cut custom build time with, like, proven patterns. We know these connectors work. We know these accelerators work. You keep ownership of your own architecture and, like, and your roadmap for deploying whatever upgrades you want. So basically how it works is, like, we've got loads of, go on to, like, the Tridion page. I think you could put the link in there somewhere. And we've got out of the box connectors, like, connect to SharePoint 365, Binder, SAP Commerce Tool, Salesforce Marketing Cloud, loads of them. We've got accelerators, package connectors that have sample code so that you can for example, we're working with DAMs now, digital asset management, and CRM,
Hmm.
to basically allow you to easily connect Tridion to those external tools. There's nothing. I used to be a technical writer.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, the work that would go into, like, you want to put an image, you're writing your procedure, and then all of a sudden you've got to break everything. First of all, go and look for the image, then upload it to the DAM, and then go into your CCMS, and then go and look for it in the all of
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
Basically just build a connector, like click,
Yeah.
click, in 2 clicks, you importing and putting it into your document.
Yeah, and I think that like one of the key things is a lot of our customers, I mean, they've got the
Yeah,
complex ecosystems, right? And they've got all of these different platforms that they can derive so much value out of just connecting these things together. And, of course, the reason why we're saying it's RWS open is that it's all open source now. So some of these connectors, which we had, previously been telling customers, oh, yeah, it's for purchase only. We've just made the decision, hey, let's just open it up. The source code's all going to be on GitHub. So this whole thing's going to be run on GitHub. And not only that, as partners or as our professional services make improvements to the connectors, they'll be rolled out to the entire community. So we're really looking forward to this ecosystem, and allowing our customers to get a lot of value. And this will also span into not just the Tridion Sites and Tridion Docs connectors, but it's also going to span into some of our other content products that we have as well. So Fonto, Fonto One, and then even Propylon as well are going to be
Propylon, yeah.
all included into this new ecosystem. And as well the translation connectors as well. So if you're using
Oh
Trados
yeah.
Enterprise and you want to have some of these open source connectors, they'll be available as well in this new ecosystem.
That's just brilliant. And basically, if you want your tech stack to just work,
Yeah, of course.
this is where you start. Start with a
Yeah,
connectors page, pick an accelerator, like, come and talk to our professional services. Basically, it's open. Decide how you want to use it.
yeah.
The path is explicit and it's fast.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good point about just professional services, because people are welcome to do stuff on their own. There's other enterprises though where they want to have not only like the implementation done by professional services, but they might want to also have a professional services support package because they want to have these connectors be supported at an enterprise level, and that's totally fine. All right. So I think we're having a little bit of an audio problem. So Deepo, I'm not sure what just happened with your audio. Hold on for just 1 second. Is it working? Well, it's a live stream, so these things, and we were just going to wrap up anyway. So one thing to bear in
Hear me
mind.
now?
Yes, yes. Now,
Okay.
now you're back in.
Yeah, it's not my super mic. It's like, so
Okay.
excuse quality.
So I guess let's move on to events then. So we got a couple events coming up, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, if you want a chance to come and have a chat with us, we're going to be at the Nordic TechCom in Copenhagen. That's like 21st, 22nd of September. And I'll be presenting there. I'm like, talking about SME overload to SME engagement. Basically, how do you get your stuff reviewed on time? The business impacts of that can be quite high, and not just in like delayed time to market, but also actually having to recall products because like somebody did not finish the review. So come and meet us there. The CCA. Oh my goodness, more than you'd think. Yeah, the CCA, the Component Content Alliance, will be there as well. So come and meet the team, meet RWS salespeople, and come and talk to us. Come and talk to us about that. These new connectors about RWS open. But otherwise, you meet with the CCA is like vendor neutral space where we all talk. And if you just want to come and get some advice, some strategy, meet the right people, come over to the CCA table. And then we're going to be at LavaCon, and LavaCon is like
Right.
highlight of
Big
the
one.
year for me. It's
Right.
like the massive event, and like CCA panel will be there as well. We've got a panel, actually a panel discussion on the role of structured content and data in agentic AI and RAG. Like long topic, but hey, everyone is talking about MCP, agentic AI, and so where does structured content fit into all that? Come
Yes.
over. It'll be led by Dawn Stevens. Everyone who's in the content world knows Dawn Stevens. And then our Viget Thierry from
Uh-huh.
Mind of Yes will be there, and like Noz, Leaf, Harold, Rob, Colin, load of people on there. I'll be talking as well. I've got my own talk, No One Left Behind, the business case for inclusivity and inclusive content. So if you're interested in making sure you're not leaving anyone out, even without knowing it, not on
Mm-hmm.
purpose,
Yeah.
come over and have that. We're sponsoring the annual karaoke night. So that's going to be fun. I don't normally do karaoke, but I'm ready to shake a leg. This one, it's the conference's famous karaoke night, and you meet, come and see like everyone
Sure.
let their hair down. It's not all just work, work, work. Come and
Right.
relax with your peers as well. And so yeah, well you'll be able to meet the team, meet the CCA, and just come and have fun at LavaCon.
And the way to find the LavaCon event and all of those events, if you go type in Tridion.com in your browser, that takes you to the right place in the RWS site, which has a lot of different products, solutions, etc. And then from there, just click on webinars and events, and you'll be able to see links to all the events where we'll be attending. And yeah, we really hope to see you there. So we're at time. Deepo, as always, thank you. We'll be back next month for another live stream. Thanks so much,
More
everyone.
surprises. Great seeing you again, man.
All right. Take care.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.